of the VK Jones Show. Jarryd JB Boy, my co-host, he's got some technical difficulties. Hopefully, he'll join us during the show. If he doesn't, we'll have him back on next week. But joining me tonight, my special guest, who well known to the state of Louisiana, covering all facets of all sports. And also, he has moved up a little bit in the world this year with a new position. But at the same time, he really has built his empire. Very hard worker, all the way from the bayou of Houma, Louisiana. But he goes everywhere through the city and the state, and he does amazing work, and he's really building himself. We got Mr. G. Gray. What is going on, man? Welcome to the show. Taking time out.
Appreciate you for having me on, man. It's been a long time since we did a little having some analysis about sports, man. I think it was since the when South when it was Scotlandville and Oak Hill came down to New Orleans
Yeah.
for All-Star Weekend, and we kind of commentated that thing.
Yeah. We did a couple of games together, man, and it's fun because of the fact your stuff, man. You study a lot and everything, and anytime I have a little trouble, man, I'm like, let me call G Sports to see what he's doing and all that. But I met this young man a couple years ago, ladies and gentlemen, and actually I ran into his videos because I needed to have something together for a demo, and I was like, G, can I borrow a little something from you because I need to just put something together? And he was
Right.
like, no problem. And like, great. And it kind of helped me a lot. But then we kept contact with each other online, and I was like, okay, we got to meet each other in person because
Definitely.
it seems like, we got some kind of ties a little bit. Not too
Right.
much ties together, but we need to just meet up. And we met each other during the Superdome Classic. And it was
Mhm.
great to meet him and talk with him. We had great conversation talking about life, about what's going on and everything. When he told me he was from, I say, wow, dude, you're a hustler. And I always say he had potential and he's doing this thing. And now, right now, you started with first it was G Spot Sports, and then you changed it to G Sports. And now a lot of things have been happening. Now you got more people added on. We talked about this before, and tell us about the workings of that franchise becoming what it is now. And now you got help on your side. And now you're getting like more coverage than you ever had.
Man, it's really surreal, man. It's just been a process. And I'm 5 years in, and I had a vision that I wanted to be the number one sports media outlet in Louisiana. And I don't feel like I'm there yet, but I'm on the way. And I just put my faith in God, man, and just put the work in, and just build a lot of relationships around the state, and people believe in what I'm doing. Um, I kind of expressed to a lot of people on social media and through email and Indeed that I'm looking for inspiring, ambitious young men that aspire to be a sports analyst or journalist or broadcaster, whatever it is in a mass communication field. And man, I can't even tell you how many DMs and emails I got from so many different people that were wanting to be a part of this movement with G Sports and what I'm doing. And so, I hired a few people. Kyle Valdez was the first guy I hired, high school kid out of Berg High School. He's now majoring in LSU, and he's majoring in mass communications. This kid here is on his way to being one of the best sports journalists, in the state when it's all said and done. 18 years old. He was actually going to LSU originally to major in pre-med. And the internship I gave him with G Sports, it kind of changed his whole mindset on what he wanted to do with his life. Because his mom and his dad is in the medical field, and they're doctors. And so,
Wow.
so now he's majoring in mass communication, and he wants to be a sports journalist. And I've been kind of like mentoring him through that. And he just made it. He just made a year a year ago. I mean, I said a year ago, a month ago, and I congratulate him on that. And he's just been doing an excellent job. I brought this other kid on, Jarryd Jones. He's majoring in mass communications at Southern. He's been doing a phenomenal job for me thus far this season. Um, um, the other kid, Ace Bolden. He's just a photographer, but he wants to start his own photographer business down the line. So I kind of gave him that platform to come to games and take pictures for me and stuff like that. And I kind of been mentoring him on how to, build his brand on social media and things like that. And he's been doing a great job. So it's been cool, VK, man. And I just thank God moving in my life, bro. And I think the best is yet to come.
It's amazing, man. You balancing your regular job and this and kids. It's a lot. There's a lot you're doing right now,
Definitely.
it used to be one game a week. Now we're getting 3 games a week, and I was like, "What? We're getting 2-3 games a week?" I was like, "Man, look, I don't know if it's a competition between you and Josh Preston. Big shout out to Josh Preston.
Big shout out to Josh Preston, man. That's my guy right there. That's my guy right there. And I won't kind of put it out there, man. People think in the media you be in competition, and I wanna put it out there, man. That's not my mindset. I'm never in competition with anybody in the media. I'm always trying to help and inspire somebody else and kind of take little things that they do that can make me better in what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very fond of what Josh Preston does, man. He does a great job. He's built a lot of relationships in Louisiana. Me and him talk often, and I think that Josh is on his way to being one of the biggest media personalities and one of the biggest media, so to speak, brands in the state of Louisiana. He's very talented, man. I love what Josh does, and I talk to him all the time and try to inform him. He informed me about different things. We kind of like piggyback off each other about a lot of different things. I think Josh is doing a great job, bro.
And I loved it. I love it when both of y'all be at the same game.
Right.
Because I can go to different views of the video. Like when y'all did Eastern Car a couple times last season.
Right.
It was amazing to see you're covering the car side and Josh covers the Eastern side. And it was like, okay, I'm getting double action here. And this is great. But it's something else when you learn from you're taking what I did when I first started. Big shout out to Ken Trahan, who gave me my first shot. Still loving to death. He misses me like crazy. It's like, you're in North Carolina. Like, man, when are you ever gonna come back?
Right.
So,
right.
So working with him.
I remember that.
Yeah, working with him, working with Ron Picardo, all these other people, they broke me in. But then seeing more brothers like yourself, Josh Preston, I've been knowing him for years. Rod Walker. He's like
Rod Walker, man.
Rod Walker's another one.
Another good one.
And it's amazing how the brother and then Toe Davis, we can't forget about him, doing a lot of things with Algiers TV. So, a lot
Anthony
of
Rhodes.
brothers.
Anthony Rhodes.
And it's amazing. I remember when
Anthony Rhodes. He's another one.
Oh, Anthony Rhodes. Yes, is another one. The new guy I heard about, Anthony Rhodes.
Up and coming, man. The new kid on the block.
Good. See, the thing is, and it's amazing, I remember when I first got started, and me and Andy Lopez was covering a top 28 tournament. And I've been knowing Andy for the years. If you ever met Andy Lopez, Jarryd Rozier, you know what I'm saying, those guys. So me and Andy, and we was like, couldn't believe it was like we was the only two at top 28. And I think St. Aug won the state championship that year. Brother Mark was in the top 28. It was like 6-7 local teams that made it. And me and him was like the only two African Americans really like on the table covering. And then all of a sudden, 10, 11 years later, I come to the top 28. I see myself, Rod Walker. I think I see you one night. Josh Preston's there. Lamar out of Alexandria. And a couple other folks.
Doing a great job.
Yeah, Seth, I forgot his last name. He's out of Lafayette. And there's another cat from
Mike. I don't know if you're talking about Mike Coppage.
Not Mike Coppage. There's another guy. He works. I forgot. He works at Fox right now. The brother that works at Fox right now that works with the Prep Fridays. I think.
Armin, what's his name? Gillett or something? Not him, huh?
It might be him. Not him, but I counted about 8-9 brothers working the press row of top 28.
Right.
And that's unbelievable. I mean, we come from a long way to get where we need to be as African Americans in the business. And,
Definitely.
you know, it's amazing because I could not talk to about it Lopez years ago, the only two black folks
Right.
at this table. Now you got
Right.
about 8, 9 of us
Real
running the
talk.
table. So,
Right. Right.
but you know, I've been going through my hard times. So I hope I get back in it.
Yeah,
I do,
me and you talked about that a lot in the past, man, about, black African Americans being successful in this business and having opportunities.
right. And a lot of people, they always tell me, man, we miss you here, man. Like the Sean Denhams was here. Big shout out to him. He was on the show last week, and he was like, bro, the game misses you, bro.
Right.
Like you know, so many coaches, so many people, the game misses you. I said, I know the game missed me, but I had to go for a reason. But
Right.
the only thing I miss about Louisiana is covering sports. That's the only thing I missed about it. Just wish I would have had better opportunities, but still at the same time, I miss it because of those Friday nights or those Saturdays. It don't matter what sport. We go get the coverage, we go get the love. We get love from everybody, but it's about the action. It's about putting things out there, and that's what it's all about. And
Right.
To gave me a lot of respect. I said, dude, man, I'm out here, and it's sometimes. And I always said and I always felt sorry sometimes for like the Orleans Parish Public Schools a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you're not getting pub, you're not getting shine. I know there's reasons for it, but I'm here to try to put some light into this thing so y'all can get some shine out of this thing. And now they blowing up like Orleans Parish been blowing up like crazy
Definitely.
these last couple of
Definitely.
years. You know what I'm saying? So they deserve a lot of the coverage, and it's amazing. But besides all that, and I know we going a little over, but let's get into the sports a little bit. Then we'll get into more of the prep stuff. But G, we appreciate you being on the show, and you're doing some great things out here, man. I hope you keep it up. But we'll talk more on the press a little bit. Let's talk a little sports before we get into that. The New Orleans Saints gets the job done today at Denver and should have got it done anyway, knowing the situation with the Broncos with basically no quarterback and signing a wide receiver off the practice squad to play quarterback today.
Right.
Final score: the Saints gets it done today. I think it was 31-3. I believe 31-3 was the final score. Taysom Hill, up and down day to day. He ran the ball okay today. Had a couple of touchdowns, but passing not too good. 6 of 11, 38 yards. But at the same time, he ran the ball 15 yards, 2 touchdowns. But a great day for running back. Who's that? Murray, who had a day. About
Definitely
time
Murray.
that he was a day, and he had 19 carries, 123 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the day. And I'll tell you, he really deserved getting a lot of those carries, and he should have been got them long time ago. And now the Saints still have the best record in the NFL, especially what happened this afternoon.
Definitely. I just was looking for Sean Payton to come out and establish the run early. I didn't want him to get too cute with his play calling, especially knowing that they don't have a quarterback. Man, let's run the ball and rely on our defense and impose our will physically at the line of scrimmage. And I think we did that. Latavius Murray had over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara had, I think, like 60 yards rushing. You ran Taysom Hill, who I call AKA White Uptown. And he had he had 2 touchdowns rushing. He did a great job, and he didn't do too. He didn't try to overexert himself. I thought that's why we won the game. And so I just want to see Sean Payton going forward continue that game plan, especially going against the Falcons next week, who is bad. One of the worst defensive teams in the NFL. So let's just keep that same identity that we had today, running the ball, relying on our defense, special teams, flipping the field position. We got a great kick in Will Lutz, who's only missed 1 kick on the year. Let's do that and try to go into. I think we play Philly after the Falcons, if I'm correct, right?
Yes, indeed.
Going to Philly, who is a team that's playing desperate football, trying to get into the playoffs. That's going to Philly, still at the top of the NFC, and then we got to go play them that bad man and Pat Mahomes. The week after that, I don't know if Drew Brees is going to be back by then, but we'll see. But I think all in all, I just love the way the Saints find a way to win every week. With all the adversity, even going back to last year when Teddy Bridgewater came in, we find a way to win. We doing a little thing. I think Demario Davis and that front seven, led by Cam Jordan and Tuttle and Anyamata and Davenport and Carl Granderson.
Ferguson.
List goes. Hendrickson.
Oh,
Like the
Hendrickson.
way
Yeah,
they
my
playing right
goodness.
now, they might be playing the best in the NFL, and I think that's a big reason why, we're the best team in the NFC right now, and our secondary is gaining confidence. So I love what I've seen from our team today. Sean Payton just does a great job of just getting his team up for certain games when we might not have all our best weapons, and so I think Sean Payton, and I've been saying for the last 3-4 weeks, I think he's the best coach in the NFL because how many people that's 7-0 with their backup quarterback in the last 2 years? I'll tell you who, the New Orleans Saints.
It's amazing. It's very much amazing for the Saints. Still got the best record in the NFL, and about it, the front seven of the Saints. I'm not taking you back, is reminding you a little bit of the Dawn Patrol a little bit, getting
Oh, I don't
pressure
go
to
that
the
far.
quarterback.
I'm not gonna
I'm,
go
I'm,
that far.
I,
Pat
I, I,
Swilling and Ricky Jackson, we ain't got that.
I'm like this. The way Demario Davis and Henderson is playing, this is maybe the closest thing. We ain't had those kind of linebackers made plays in a long time, maybe since Vilma. So, like I said, Jonathan Vilma. So, like I said, they are really making plays. I like this front seven, and they're doing what they gotta do. I'm saying Dawn Patrol because now they're starting to be top five. Usually, Dawn Patrol defense was the top five in the league on defense. Man, it's been a long time since the Saints has really got there, except for the Super Bowl year. That's the last time they smelled the top five until people got hurt. So, so I tell you, the Saints are getting there defensively, offensively. I like what they do. Sean Payton is doing good. The thing is, just hopefully he's in his own way like he did a couple years. It's the only thing that I'm scared of. Will Sean Payton go back to his way? You know what I'm saying? Because some people always tell me, why in the world you're blaming stuff on Sean Payton because he's done some dumb stuff. And I have seen it. And I still say a couple of years ago, some people say, well, the pass interference call with the rent. No, I'm still saying this day, Sean Payton blew it because you run the ball. You don't give the Rams the ball back. You run the clock, you force timeouts, and guess what? You wouldn't have that pass interference call.
Right.
You wouldn't have that at all. So that's all it is. But Payton's doing a good job. And now I think they have a chance. And the Saints, they could clinch the division next week. Basically, if they beat the Falcons, they could clinch the division next week. They're up 3 games down in the division after Tampa Bay losing today.
It's a wrap.
It's done. If they beat the last, but here's the thing.
Banner.
Here's the thing. Don't take Atlanta lightly. That's a huge win they put today. That's a huge win. I mean, they're gonna be freaking embarrassed after what happened today, because no way Atlanta is 46 points better than the Las Vegas Raiders, who have really been improved this year. No way. And the way they play today, Atlanta's going to be confident. They're going to be at home again. So the Saints better not take them lightly. But you know how the Saints is. We don't know which one we're going to have. We'll have the Saints that go kill somebody from the jump, or the Saints is going to struggle from the start. So we know how the Saints is, but we'll see what happens.
I don't know if you remember, but I think that's the reason why we didn't get the number one. Well, I ain't gonna say I think, I know that's the reason why we didn't get the number 1 seed last year. The Falcons came into the game. They had, they was like 2-10, 2-9. Not having no type of aspirations for the playoffs, and they beat us. And I thought that was the reason why we didn't get the number 1 seed last year. And so, we can't take the people lightly because we know Green Bay. They about to play in a minute against Chicago. Hopefully they lose tonight. I'm rooting for them to lose, but we can't. They trailing us, and so we can't take nobody lightly and give nobody the opportunity to surpass us and get that number 1 seed. And then Now we're on the road, and I know fans not coming into play, but who wants to go to Green Bay in late December and January and play these people in the frozen tundra when it's 10 below? You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
We just not built for
Nobody
that.
want to play there.
Nah, we
No,
not
not
built
at
for that.
all. Nah. And in the way it's looking right now, hopefully the Bears doing because the Rams lost today. That's huge now for the
Another big loss.
NFC.
Another big
Because
loss.
I'm like the Saints possibly could cruise if they take care of business. If they
Right.
take care of business, they might have not just the division on lock, but the number one seed on lock.
Right.
So we'll see. But the big ups to New Orleans Saints, Sean Payton yesterday.
Mm,
I mean, they look like they just did not show up. They had one great drive that could have cut the lead, and TJ Finley had a nice pass, could have been a touchdown, but I can see the call was reversed because maybe the controlling of the ball. It was crazy with
that's
the
the one
replay.
that Keyshawn Booty.
That's right. That's it. Man, I tell you, I just had a feeling when I seen the replay, I'm like, they're gonna reverse this. They're not gonna give LSU this touchdown. Because of the fact if he would have controlled the ball earlier and established possession, that's touchdown. But the way the ball was kind of shaking when he went down, I'm like, they're gonna say he did not. Knowing now the rule is you gotta have a complete football play, even when you go down. Make sure you have control of everything. You do that, that's a catch, or it's not. And it's just been some questionable stuff with it. It just didn't surprise me. And that changed the whole LSU after that. He didn't show up at all. And big news, the one of the big receivers is opted out for the season.
With good reason.
Yeah.
With
and
good reason.
that's Terrence Marshall done. He's gonna just hang it up. And what do you thought yesterday about LSU? I was like, man, I was hoping the Tigers would at least give Texas A&M a game, or at least probably pull a shocker. Well, what are your thoughts? You think this is just not LSU's night? It looked like College Station is starting to be a house of horrors for LSU.
I mean, I knew coming into this season LSU was gonna have some struggles, man. I didn't think it was gonna be to this extent or how they looking, losing to Missouri the way they lost, losing to Mississippi State the first game of the season, giving them that many points and that many amount of yards passing. But I knew they wasn't gonna have the season people expected them to have. You got a first-year defensive coordinator in Bill Pelini who changed the whole defensive scheme from a 3-4 to a 4-3. People got to understand. You got to have the personnel to run that scheme. Yeah, they plugged in Andre Anthony and guys like that to run that 4-3, but they didn't have a spring. They didn't have a summer to get comfortable in that scheme. So I knew that was going to be a problem. Kerry Vincent opted out. Tyler Shelvin opted out. Marcel Brooks transferred to TCU, I believe. And I thought he was going to be probably the best player on that defense this year. So, they just had a lot of different moving pieces on defense. And I thought that was the reason why their defense struggled this year and why it's been struggling all year. And then offensively, you bring in a first-year quarterback in Miles Brennan, who I thought did a great job. I don't know why he was getting so much scrutiny on social media, but what you want to do? They've been scoring over 30 points a game when he played. All right. And so, when you got all that going on offensively and you still manage to put up 30 points a game, I don't know what all the big hoopla was about, talking about Miles Brennan and the offense and stuff like that. If you put up 30 points a game, I don't care who you is. I don't care how you getting it done. You putting up 30 points a game. You know what I'm saying? So I know that going forward, LSU they're gonna be good. I think next year you're gonna see a better team. They played a lot of young people this year, a lot of freshmen. They didn't have the depth in the secondary this year, all on the D line, in my opinion. And that's another reason why, they've been struggling. Glenn Logan, one of their best D linemen, has been hurt all year. And so the linebacker position, you got new pieces, a new Mike linebacker, Damone Clark. So that's what you're seeing this year, man. And it's unfortunate how the way it's been playing out, because you never expect LSU to lose to people like Mississippi State the way they lost. and lose to people like Missouri the way they lost, and especially lose to Texas A&M how they lost yesterday. Like, that was ridiculous how they lost that game. You just don't expect LSU, that caliber of a program, to lose the way they've been losing. But I do think Orgeron they're gonna reset this. They're gonna reset this whole thing, and I think next year they're gonna be one of the better teams in the country.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I think I looked at it real as possible, real as day. I knew LSU was gonna be like kind of down this year. I mean, so much turnover. I've never seen a team like this that has lost so many starters, so many reserves, and coordinators gone. So what you think is gonna happen? And I'm glad that I know you're looking at it the way I'm looking at it, and I think a lot of people looking at it like everybody's shocked, like everybody's doing. This is gonna happen, man.
Right.
Wake up. This is gonna freaking happen. I agree with you. I think next year's gonna be it's gonna be much better. TJ Finn, I think they found a quarterback. I think the depth is gonna be much better all around. I think LSU's gonna be a better team. Now, my question to you before we move on: do they make a change with the defense coordinator, offense coordinator? Do they make changes there, or keep as is?
I know they added Scott Linehan to the offensive staff with Esminger. Am I correct?
Right.
Right.
Which I was not fond of.
I actually didn't have a problem with LSU's offense this year. I thought, like I said, man, you putting up over 30 points a game. What more you can ask for? The question gonna be, the bigger question is not about the coordinator. Who they gonna get that quarterback job to next year? They gonna give it back to Miles Brennan, or are they gonna give it to TJ Finley? Me personally, I think TJ Finley needs to have that job going into next year. It's his job to lose. I think he's proven it so that much. But this LSU, so I wouldn't be surprised if they have Miles Brennan, as a starting quarterback. I think whoever doesn't get the starting spot next year, they transfer. I just think you see them going to transfer portal. And defensively, Bill Pelini, I've always liked Bill Pelini, even when he was at LSU the first time. When he was at Nebraska, I think it's just about getting his players to fit that scheme, recruiting wise, and having a spring, having a summer, being able to get reps and go through different situations with them in practices, having that time. A lot of things they've been doing, man, been over Zoom, man. There's only so much you can. A lot of kids are visual learners, so that's what you're seeing from the LSU defense this year. So I think Bill Pelini's job should be safe. Bring it back next year. Nah, he gets a spring, he gets a summer, he gets that time with the players, and being able to get some of his players in for the second recruiting class, and that defense still looks horrible next year. Yeah, you gotta give him his walking papers.
That's I agree. I can agree with that. And both I kept telling people, both Pelini had coached top 10, top 5 defenses at LSU before, and it can happen again. You just got a bunch of new players. Maybe some of the players not that good right now, or they're not too good, like they say. They might be overrated. They might be overrated. I'm just saying. I don't mean to say that about them, but my thing is this: maybe I got to give them time. But some plays, when I see it, I'm like, I'm sorry, that's not good effort. You got to do better. If you try to make a play and you get out, I get it. But when people just wide open, like, what in the world is going on? I know it's gonna take time. I can see early in the season, but now it's getting late. It's almost like, you got no excuses. Like usually certain coaches say, you're a freshman, you learn. But when it's late, it's more from that veteran now. Because you know stuff now. We done been through the fundamentals. We done been through all this. Just like a center, on offense. A center get the center snap to the quarterback, fumbling early. Then all of a sudden later on, he's still fumbling. Wait, we got a problem. Right. You're supposed to have been had this down. So I'm not gonna call all the secondary trash for LSU. My thing is they need to get a little better. Because I'm like, I don't like what I'm seeing. I just don't like it. But I think, like you said, we'll see what happens in the spring. We'll see what happens with the recruiting class. It might be a big improvement next year. It might be a huge improvement defensively. I'm hoping so. I like Pelini too.
I will say this, and I think Bama is guilty of this too. It's just you don't see it as often as you do with LSU, right? So I just think that LSU is not, their players are not motivated. What we playing for? We plan to go to the LilCeges.com bowl. We plan to go to the Ross.com bowl. Like they want to compete to play in the SC championship. They want to compete to go to a Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl, National Championship, 14 playoff, right? And Bama is guilty of that. People don't talk about it though because it doesn't happen as often, right? When Bama's not motivated and they know they're not going to a 14 playoff or they not going to a big time bowl, Bama looks bad, and you see it out the player they players. And that's what you're seeing from LSU right now. Man, them kids know, a lot of them kids that's playing right now, they playing for individual success. They trying to set themselves up for the NFL draft, put good film out there. They're not playing for the team right now. And that's what you're seeing. When you got a bunch of kids that's out there playing for self and not trying to, go out there and play smart football within the team concept, that's what you see. You see them giving up 40, 50 points to teams like Missouri and people like that. So, but I think next year, you're going to see a team that's motivated to try to get back to the national championship and have a spring and have a summer. And Paulina has more time with them kids, and I think you just see a different team.
Absolutely. This is the VK Jones Show special edition. We're on once a week. We're going to be definitely on again next Sunday, breaking down the LHSA playoffs and everything. That's why we're doing these shows and all that stuff. We'll get to that in a second. We're here with Jeremiah G Sports Gray. I'm sorry to put your whole name, but is that okay? Or
yeah, I ain't tripping, man. It's all good.
All right, cool. But we got G Sports on for us for the whole show and everything. Jarryd JB Boyd had some technical difficulties. Hopefully he can join with us. If he doesn't, we'll see him next week. But besides all that, hopefully LSU will get better. But let's talk a little bit of boxing, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Jones went in it. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it. I didn't get a chance to see it because I had to deal with my own family, my wife and daughter. And my daughter kept dragging me to go to bed because I had a 6:30 call for church, if you know what I mean. But what happened? What did you see? I see some highlights and some interesting stuff, but I heard there was some funny business and all that kind of stuff. I heard somebody got knocked out in one of the undercards. But then I heard, I did not know that he was trying to box. And I'm like, what? So he gets knocked out, gets embarrassed. Snoop Dogg calling commentary. And Tyson and Jones wound up being a draw. Tell us about the crazy night.
It was a publicity stunt. That's all it was, man. That's why I wasn't too excited about watching the fight, man. I knew it was a publicity stunt. I could tell that when I watched Roy Jones, it's probably about a month ago, I was looking at his body. Like, man, you ain't even in shape. You still got titties. And I don't see your trap showing through your shirt. Man, Tyson, on the other hand, looked like he was in shape, and he showed it last night. Tyson looked like he still could go 12 rounds. All right. What I had a problem with.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I heard Tyson lost almost about 100 pounds getting ready
Tyson
for this fight, and he looked great. I was looking at his workout tapes, and I was like, "This is like the scariest man on 4 wheels right now." And when I found out he was going against Roy Jones, I said, "Are you serious right now?" But continue.
Yeah, Tyson really looked good. Well, my problem with Tyson was, and like I said, why I think it was a publicity stunt, he could have definitely hit Roy Jones with some headshots, some haymakers, some uppercuts, hooks and stuff like that. He was hitting them with straight body shots, man. I was like, what you doing? You're bad, man. Hit this man in the face and swell his eye up, So that's like, that was my whole issue with the fight, man. I just thought that, they was taking it easy on each other, kind of what they say back in the day when like in a football term, like when an O lineman and a D lineman going against each other, they call it brother-in-law.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard that term before. Yeah,
yeah,
man,
I think I heard of that.
Yeah, that's what I felt yesterday when I'm watching that fight, man, Tyson really took it easy on him, hitting him straight body shots, man. I wanted to see some head shots, and he never tried to connect on his head shot. And Roy Jones, man, you could just tell he's just out of shape. He was gassed after the third round. It was a joke. Nate Robinson, on the other hand, if that was a publicity stunt, he did a hell of a job of acting. I don't think it was. I think he really got knocked out. I think whoever promoted that fight and whoever advised him to do that fight set him up for the kill, because he definitely got hit with a nice hook that put him to sleep. So, but you know, it was good to sit down and watch with my friends and, you know, have a little guy night to watch. But you know, I wasn't impressed, and I think that they talking about having a rematch. I don't see him making too much money off that. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, I think Tyson still looks in shape, and I think he can go 12 rounds. Nah, I'm not trying to say he's the Tyson of old, but he looked good for his age. What, he's 52, 53?
54.
54. 54. He looked damn good for 54. I hope I can move that well and have that kind of agility and burst the way he looked in that fight last night at 54 years old.
Wow. Yeah, and I see you kick one of those Freds. Big shout out to Fred Jones. It's bad, man.
You're back.
Crazy. Yeah, because you used to be on I forgot the name, the Fan View show, and I mean y'all guys, I was on there a couple times and y'all watched. I mean it's a fun show, and I hope they bring it back soon. But man, but you're right. It's a lot of too much. You could say, yeah, grandfather. You say brother-in-law, or what do you call too much mind games? You know,
Taking it easy on each other,
head
man.
games, kind of stuff. Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
not
too easy on each
surprising.
other.
And I think Tyson has a lot more respect for Roy Jones, and he didn't want to damage him as much as he wanted to, because he know the man got a family. Roy
Man,
Jones got a family and stuff, and Mike know he got a family too, and Mike he still has the killer in him like he want, but he's more controlled. He's more
yeah,
controlled than he's ever been.
he's at a better mental space.
Better place in his life now. So he doesn't have to have the inner beast in him anymore. He'll
Right,
let it come out when he has to, but more than anything else, he respects Jones so much. It's like, man, I'm not about to put this man in the hospital.
right,
I'm gonna put on a good show, but I'm not trying to put this man in the hospital. That's just
right.
not, that, and I understand that, But I heard, but seeing a lot of social media, man, people was raving about Snoop and his commentary, man. They was
It
feeling
was
Snoop.
nice.
It's like they said Snoop need to be like, besides him performing out there, doing his little rapping. But he said the commentary was good. He's like, he might have to do some more commentary.
Snoop did a good job of commentary. I felt like he saved the fight. You know, when I was watching it, that's the only thing I was being entertained about was Snoop and some of the things that he was saying and how he was commentating the fight. So, I'm definitely open to hearing Snoop commentate some more fights going forward, and whoever made the decision for him to commentate that fight, that was a great decision, because I think if it wasn't for him, I don't know if people stayed tuned in for that whole 8 rounds.
Wow. Yeah. We are on YouTube. We are on Roast Stream. We are on YouTube. I'm saying on Facebook Live right here. BK Jones Special Edition. And I know it was very, very enjoyable to look at boxing. But the most exciting thing also in boxing as well, and I have to look at the trailer for this, and I don't know if anybody are fans of the Rocky Balboa trilogy. Creed is coming back. Creed 3 is coming in 2021.
They
I just
wildin'.
found out about it, and I got to see the trailer. My wife seen the trailer. She said it looks great. I have to see it. I'm kind of surprised because of the fact that looking at Creed 2 which was unbelievable. I really thought that might have been the end of the whole Rocky Balboa trilogy, the whole story thing, and it was. And I said it myself. that this would be a great way to end it into Creed 2. I was thinking this would be a great finish to a whole trilogy. And I'm thinking that was it. Now they come out with Creed. I'm like, and I'm curious, did you see the trailer?
Nah, I didn't see it. I heard about it, but I didn't see the trailer.
I got to see the trailer myself and see. I'm wondering who he's fighting this time and what kind of storyline they're going in this one, because I think Adonis Creed's character. I think if anybody seen the both of them, I'm not gonna spoil too much. He really overcame a lot, and he wound up accomplishing some things. But I'm like, okay, what are they gonna do next? That's what I'm curious on. That they're coming out with Creed 3, but I'm excited, and I'm just hoping. I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping it's good, and I'm hoping this is last. You don't want to ruin something that really stressed out. And big props to director Ryan Coogler, who started this new series with Creed. And I was like, man, I mean, it's amazing because the fact that how you take a spinoff from Rocky like that and turn it to the way it did. And I was like, man, it's amazing stuff. So it's almost like you have to look at all the Rockies basically. And all the Rockies are pretty good, except for all the Rockies are good. I know you got a couple of them that may be worse, but still, Ryan Coogler has done great things, turning this franchise to another side of it.
Right. Some movies I just feel like, especially like after that second one, can you really do better than Creed 1 and Creed 2? Do you really think you can outdo those two movies? And if the question, more often than not, you really can't. So right. I just don't like when certain directors try to go for the third and the fourth movie. Man, look, this not Ocean's 11 where you can just keep going and going. You know what I'm saying? Like certain movies have the opportunity to do that. This is not one of the movies. I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still gonna watch it. But I just got a feeling that I'm gonna watch it and say to myself at the end, damn, they would have did better just keeping Creed 1 and Creed 2 and not moving on to a third one.
Just like the Fast and Furious movies.
That's a whole nother story.
No, hey, look, I'm a big fan of the Fast Six. And me, I think they should have stopped at 7. So I'm like, that's enough. We were done. Like we're gonna do more. I'm like, oh god.
Well, now you're watering it down.
Exactly. You do something that's really good. And then John Wick. I'm like, okay, is this the end? Is this the third? Is this the end here? Because I'm like, you did this. It's good. Some of it wasn't that good, but some, that's the name of the entertainment business. That's kind of crazy, but can't wait to see what happens with Creed 3. But moving right along, and we finally get into this high school playoffs, what we've been all waiting for here. And G, first of all, before we get into the we're gonna start off with Division 4, but before we get to that, your thoughts on the whole high school football season, how crazy it's been with COVID-19 and everything. And I've never seen this a year like this in Louisiana. We have not had football at all this year because of COVID. But y'all guys did. But y'all had a lot of cancellations, a lot of changes, scrambling, and all that. And then teams had to scramble maybe about a day, like 2-3 days to get an opponent, and they play.
Fine game, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, tell us your thoughts on this season dealing with COVID-19 and plus all these hurricanes and stuff that really threw things off in Louisiana.
Man, I think some people have been talking about whoever wins the state championship this year is going to have an asterisk by it and all that, and I just don't believe that notion because everybody else dealing with the same thing. So I think that's just an excuse on why you can't get it done. Nah, you can't control certain kids getting COVID. You can't control, what happens with your numbers and stuff like that. So we in unprecedented times, right? And so you play the hand you dealt. I do think that Eddie Bonine and them did a great job of orchestrating this season and still giving these student athletes an opportunity to play the senior years, brother. Like, people don't understand, like, you can't get this back. You can't get this back. I thought they did a great job of setting guidelines for the games and social distancing and just different little tactics they use for these high school events. With all that being said, we still had a great high school football season. I see some great football this year. I think the cream of the crop teams in the state are still going to have an opportunity to win a state championship. Your Edna Cars, your Rummels, your Acadianas of the world. I'm excited to see how the second round is going to play out on Friday and quarterfinals and semifinals. And I think we're going to have another great year in the Superdome, watching some of the best teams in the state go at it.
How crazy is that to see that the postseason starts Thanksgiving week? There's usually quarterfinals, and your state championship is gonna be days after Christmas.
Right, the day after Christmas.
Day after Christmas, that day.
Right, exactly. So, it's gonna be different, man. It's gonna be different. It's just gonna be different, But the elite programs in the state that's used to making deep runs and getting to the dome, man, they gonna make necessary adjustments to make sure they kids are ready to play on Friday. And I don't think you're gonna see too much of a difference in teams getting to the dome that's supposed to get there, like people thinking.
And I think all the teams are playing. I think all the championships are in the dome this year, I believe. Is that right? Okay, yeah, they put them all together. So
unless
big
they
ups,
change it up.
big ups to Eddie Bonine for that one. And I think it's necessary to put them all in one place this year, especially what's going on. So let's start it off. Division 4. Going previewing these. I think now we go to the quarterfinals. Second round quarterfinals of Division 4. Your matchups, you have the 1 seed Calvary Baptist, Catholic Port Capee. Then you have the 5 seed Southern Lab, Cedar Creek. And the game is at Cedar Creek. Washita Christian, the 3 seed against Metairie Park Country Days, the 6 seed. And Riverside Academy, Vermilion Catholic. Your thoughts on some of these matchups, and especially the chances of Country Day and Riverside trying to pull off a big win and possibly meet in the regional semifinals?
The only teams I really know about in Division 4, really honestly, is Catholic Port Capee. And I only really started kind of keeping tabs on numbers because of Matthew Langlois, the LSU commit. He plays all over the field for them. I don't really too much know about Calvary Baptist. I know they always have a good program, but I haven't followed them too much this year. Southern Lab, haven't had a chance to see them this year or really follow them. Riverside though, so I think Riverside has a chance to get to the dome. They have athletes on both sides of the ball. Gage Larvidan is one of the best athletes that I've seen this year, and he plays quarterback, he plays corner, he plays punt return, he plays all over the field. Cade Middleton, one of the big time athletes over there who plays on both sides of the ball as well. Elijah Davis, the running back. I like Coach Kaiser, the head coach, how he's leading that team. I think they got a chance, man. They just got athletes. They got athletes everywhere. Not familiar with Vermilion Catholic, so I don't know too much about them. But I do think from what I've seen from Riverside and Catholic Port Capee this year and Southern Lab, those will be the 3 teams that I will have my most confidence in to get to the dome and be able to win a state championship in Division 4.
Okay. Country Day, good program. They won at Washita Christian a year ago. Could they do it again? It's gonna be tough for them. We'll
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
but they
but you
got
had
some real good
Avietta last
athletes.
year. Yeah,
Yeah, they
you
had
had Avietta
Avieta.
last year.
They had some weapons around them, and Joe Chango, who left a great foundation. I tell you, Guy LeCompte doing a good job trying to maintain. This is going to be a huge challenge for him next week. This week against Washita Christian. Could they do it again? Maybe, but we'll see. It's going to be tough.
Right.
I got and I got Rivers, and I said it last week. I think Riverside to get the Million Catholic is a hell of a program. Hell of a program. They've been really coming up these last couple of years, and this is gonna be tough. But I think Riverside's still winning. I got Riverside to win the whole thing because the fact of the matter is Riverside has played a tough schedule, and with them being a 7 seed has been is a real insult for them. And I think they're going to be motivated, and I think they can win the whole thing. I think they'll get by the Million Catholic, and hopefully it'll be them in Country Day, but I don't know. Washita Christian had great program, but we'll see what happens with that. But it's going to be tough. But that's going to be interesting for the quarters going in next week. The Division 3 quarterfinals, second round. The 1 seed Isidore Newman takes on Catholic of New Iberia. They've been going at it the last 5, 6 years, and they go at it
Right.
again. Games at Newman. Lafayette Christian, the 5 seed against the 4 seed Episcopal. You got the 3 seed Notre Dame and Crowley against number 6 Ascension Episcopal. And then finally, the 10th seed, Dunham, who pulled off the big win against St. Thomas Aquinas against St. Charles Catholic. Your thoughts on some of these matchups? Does St. Charles get the win against the semis? And what's Newman's chances of getting by Catholic New Iberia once again?
Uh, Newman gonna cruise by Catholic New Iberia, in my opinion. This Division 3 gonna come down to who wins out of Newman and Lafayette Christian. No disrespect to Catholic New Iberia and Episcopal, but I just think that Lafayette Christian and Newman is on a whole other level from those teams. So whoever wins in that semifinal matchup between Newman and Lafayette Christian, I think wins the state championship in Division 3. Don't get me wrong, I think St. Charles Catholic with Coach Monica, I think they do a great job. They just don't have enough to compete with Lafayette Christian and Newman, in my opinion. So I think that, when we look back, after December 28th, we're gonna say to ourselves, it was either Newman or Lafayette Christian that won Division 3.
Now, I'm gonna tell you this. Last week, some of the guys kind of got on me a little bit about Lafayette Christian, especially Jarryd JB. Can you tell them boys about Lafayette Christian and how dangerous they are?
Man, Lafayette Christian got dudes. They got dudes. They led by Coach Trev Falk, former LSU player. I think they're doing a great job over there, man. They got athletes. Now, they
You
have
said
a lot of
Trev
people
Falk,
going
right?
both. Trev Falk, yeah.
Trev Falk, yeah,
Yeah.
Travis Falk,
Um,
former LSU Tiger. So
From LSU
continue.
Tiger, exactly. I do think they are not as good as they've been in the past in the trenches, and so I think that's a concern for Lafayette Christian. But uh, I think they still have what it takes to win a state championship. From what I've seen out of the rest of these teams in Division 3. But like I say, Newman, they could very well beat Lafayette Christian. I think that's gonna be box office when them two meet up in the semifinals. So, but I think that's what it comes down to when it comes to winning the state championship. I think it's gonna come down to them two teams. They just got too much talent, really good coaching. You got some experienced players on Lafayette Christian, especially Newman. Not so much, but they have some guys I think they could get it done. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see that matchup between Lafayette Christian and Newman. You heard it here first. That's gonna be the state champion. Whoever wins out of them two in the semifinals.
Now Episcopal got Lafayette Christian got to get by Episcopal. Episcopal, not too bad. They're averaging
Nah,
35 a game. It could be a
not at
shootout.
all.
It's gonna be a shootout in that one. But I expect Lafayette Christian to win that game. But at the same time, that's gonna be probably the best game maybe of this week because the past Episcopal's pretty good this year.
That's gonna be one of them. definitely gonna be one of the best games of the year. But I just don't think Episcopal. They're not gonna be able to match up with Lafayette Christian from from top to bottom. Now in the trenches, if they can get out to an early lead, like say like a 14-0 lead on Lafayette Christian, that'll play in their favor because Lafayette Christian, like I said, they don't have the guys up front like they did in the past, and Episcopal could kind of control the clock a little bit. But I just think Lafayette Christian is going, they're gonna run away with that thing. I see them winning, but that game by at least 2 possessions or more.
Right. So this should be a good one. Can't sleep on Notre Dame crowd and Louis Cook and his squad, and Frank Monica's squad. They tell you they're gonna be right there in the thick of things. I think they'll get by Dunham. Let's talk about Division 2 now. G Sports. We're live right here, VK Jones Special Edition, right here on Facebook Live, YouTube.com. Let's go right into it here. Now, looking at Division 2. Now, this is interesting here, and I don't know what happened, but G, you might can tell me. We're going to go down here. Here's your matchups right now. De La Salle, Turlins Catley, the 1 versus 8. Versus 4, E.D. White. Got a win against Archbishop Hannon at Hannon. Actually, it's going to be at Strawberry Stadium, so it will be at Strawberry Stadium this week. Vanderbilt Catholic and University Lab 3 versus 6, and then the 7 versus 2, Parkview Baptist versus St. Thomas More. They have University Lab advancing to the semifinals. Something happened. Was there a forfeit or something?
Think something with COVID with Vanderbilt Catholic.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Which I'm gonna take. I've been telling you.
And guess what? I had Vanderbilt Catholic to pull off the upset against University.
Nah.
I had them. I said I'd give them a chance because Vandy played a tough schedule, and then a huge win against Covington was like, to me, I'm like, these people maybe can play against anybody.
Yeah, but you high just 2.
University. This is not the same U High.
U High, it ain't the same U High, but they just got too many talented players and they well coached. Vanderbilt, it was gonna be too much for Vanderbilt. I think U High was gonna win that by at least 2 possessions or more too. But they're not gonna get the chance to get to play the game, because of COVID or whatever like that. But like I was about to say, I think you're gonna see a lot of more cases of that. Like, don't be surprised if it's some teams or some programs in this playoffs that don't get that advance, like one of the juggernauts, because of some COVID issues. And now we looking at a 5A or 4A, state playoff, state championship, is saying like, how did they make it? Well, they didn't make it because St. James had 7 players out because of COVID, or they had to shut the whole program down because of COVID. So this team advanced. So, expect the unexpected in the state playoffs. Expect it.
The juggernauts. That's the word. It's usually, I get what you're talking about.
The Blue Bloods.
It's just funny. The Blue Bloods. I'm kidding. I'm not trying to insult you, bro. It just kind of got nuts, like but it is what it is. But yeah, it's. I agree with you. That's something that could happen. We've been seeing that through college football, and look what happened with the NFL yesterday. All these cases, man. All I know, I got 2 words. Damn COVID. That's all I can say. Damn COVID. It's been ruining everything. So that's another subject for another time, but trust me, I cannot stand what's going on in this country because of this dreaded disease. But regardless of that, let's go to Division. We were on 2. Oh, we're going.
By the way,
we're going to 1 now. We're going to 1.
But I want to say this: Division 2. I can't wait to see De La Salle and St. Thomas More meet up in the state championship. I think that's going to be a hell of a state championship to watch. And I got St. Thomas More winning Division 2.
Who you got them playing against?
De La Salle.
De La Salle. Yeah, I got that too, and I don't think it's going to even be close. St. Thomas More is really superior
Well,
this
it's gonna be.
year.
I ain't gonna go that far. It's gonna be a good game now. De La Salle got a good team.
I'm not saying De La Salle don't have a good team. They do, but what I see with St. Thomas more, especially with them wins this year, especially when I seen the highlights against Karen Crow, I don't think that's gonna be enough.
I
I don't
think De La
think
Salle. I think De La Salle is
De
better
La
than
Salle.
Karen Crew.
Yeah,
And Karen Crow. And
I
Karen
can
Crow
agree with
number
that.
one in 40.
But here's the thing about Karen Crow, and I'm gonna talk about that in 4 in a minute. What I seen in that game more than anything else, and I talked about it last week, I in the back of my mind, great opponent for Edna Carr. But after what I seen against St. Thomas More, I was like, I nodded my head. I was like, this looks like the Karen Crow of 5-6 years ago when Karen Crow played West Monroe, and West Monroe won the luckiest state championship I have ever seen in my life. Because like I said before, and I say it again, if Karen Crow had some kind of a passing game, they win the state championship.
Right.
And when I say luck, West Monroe had 5 turnovers and still win the state championship. How? How? And I'm in the dome just stunned. And I'm like, this is the biggest piece of crop championship I've ever seen.
Right.
I'm like, if you have a passing game, someone come out. What's wrong with giving it to you? But it is what it is. But we'll talk about 4 in a second. It'll be a great game. You might be right. I'm not doubting De La Salle. They've been a hell of a program. And I tell you one thing, that coach at De La Salle has done wonders. Probably the best coach ever come out of De La Salle for football in itself. And man, Brian Manali has done great things at De La Salle. Might be his year, maybe. Might be. St. Thomas More is just so superior, especially the experience that returned this year. That's what scared me.
I do
That's
think
what scared me.
I do think St. Thomas More is going to win the state championship. I just think it's going to be a good game. I think it'll be a close game.
It might be a close. You might be right. You might be right. I'm not going. You might be right because I think Coach Manali. I think the experience he's had the last couple of years being in that big game. I think he's going to have this team than anything else. And to me,
Right.
De La Salle maybe should have a couple of years ago and lost to Parkview Baptist, which I still can't believe. But it is what it is on that one. But it probably will be a great game. Let's take a look at Division One Division One, basically the private school cat league, most of the cat league, but look at the matchups here. The 1 seed, Brother Martin, takes on the 9 seed Jesuit Blue Jays, who handled St. Paul's 35-6 this afternoon. The 5 seed Rummel, 4 seed Cadley, the rematch of the Division One state championship. The 3 seed CE Bird hosting the 6 seed St. Augustine Purple Knights. The 7 seed John Curtis Patriots advancing because of a forfeit as they take on on the road as they'll take on Scotland Stadium. Should be a great game indeed. Your thoughts, Jarryd? I'm gonna say G Sports. Your thoughts on Division One? Who gets the big wins this week?
Brother Martin Cruz's past Jesuit. Caliban Rouge Rummel, flip a coin. St. All Cruz's past Bird. John Curtis in Scholarville. I think Scholarville wins that game. I can't wait to watch the semifinal game between St. Aug and Scholarville. That's going to be box office. I wish COVID wasn't happening. You will see that game be sold out everywhere. Like people be there have to put up barricades because that many people be at that game. So I'm looking forward to watching St. Aug and Scholarville meeting in semifinal. I think that's going to happen. And then, whoever wins out of Catholic and Rummel, meeting with Brother Martin in the semifinal, that's going to be another good one. Like, it's really like between 4 programs in Division I on who gonna win the state championship. Do not sleep on St. Aug with Nick Foster leading that team. Don't be surprised them people get to the state championship and have a chance to win it. Don't sleep on Lester Ricard in Schuylerville. They have the most talent out of everybody in this Division I. They have the most talent, but they got a young quarterback and Zay T-Set, who's been getting better as the years going on. And I think next year in his senior year, he's gonna be one of the better, one of the most elite quarterbacks in the state. But he's still young this year, so it's like I'm curious to see how he's going to progress. Going against a team against Curtis and going forward in the playoffs. So Division I, man, is definitely up for grab. I can't wait to see how it's gonna play out.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting too. I agree with that. Now I think brother, it's gonna be a tough one, man. But I think experience, it's gonna be tough. But I
Both
think Rummel,
though.
yeah, they both got experience. I'm just saying, like, yeah, both do have experience. But I think Rummel is gonna look because they lost to Catholic 2 years ago out there in Baton Rouge at that same stadium. And they want to get redemption, not just the fact of winning state last year, but going out there, especially Logan Diggs and also all those seniors. There's like, look, we're going to leave a mark at this school. Not just that we won state, that we knocked this team off 2 years straight, but knocked them off at their house. So I think Rummel is going to take out Catholic. It's going to be a great game. Could come down to a field goal. I really think Rummel will pull that out. Close game. St. Aug, I think will win against Bird. It'll be a close game. I think they'll pull a win in the fourth quarter. Bird is not going to lay down at home. Bird is not going to lay down at home. I'm like this. I'm gonna say this: the North is not the North Louisiana is down this year, tremendously down this year. This is not the best year for North Louisiana teams. This is not the best year for it. I'm saying I'm not giving. I think that. Neville's benefiting from not a strong district in themselves. Just saying, you know what I'm saying. But at the time with Bird, I'm not. I think St. Aug has a great chance. I think St. Aug wins it. I'm not saying one sided because the fact of the matter is strange things happen on the road. I'm just saying from the jump, don't be surprised. Bird might come out with a good start. But St. Aug, St. Aug on the road, lately you look at the season on the road for St. Aug, they've been having some trouble. When the last time it was on the road at Shaw, they had to earn that win. They had to come back in the fourth quarter and win the game. Foster has got to get lines right. He's been doing a great job, but he's going to have to get right, especially going a 5-hour ride to North Louisiana. So he's got to get him ready. I think St. Aug wins. It'll be close early. Before quarter, St. Aug going to turn it up, and it's over. I wouldn't be surprised it might be a blowout. I wouldn't be surprised if it be a blowout by St. Aug, but don't be surprised Bird will come out and play. Because I don't think they're a 3 seed for nothing. I think they're going to come out ready to play. But St. Aug, they'll pull it out. They ended a lot of winning streaks. So I think they'll pull this one out. So I think St. Aug wins. The Schuylerville Curtis game. I would love Lester Ricard to win this game. I would love Lester Ricard to win it in Southern. Look at this. Schuylerville, St. Aug. Now the game will be at Schuylerville. And Schuylerville hopefully will do the smart thing again, put it again back at Mumford. All you bringing them fans. They coming from New Orleans Stadium in Southern if they play.
That Mumford.
But at Mumford.
Is that Mumford?
You gotta yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where the Curtis game at. But if St. Aug, Schuylerville, put it back there again. Because I'm telling you, that I no disrespect to Schuylerville's facilities, no disrespect. But and I still say this day with their basketball team, they was dead wrong by putting that game at their home. Should have put that thing in Southern. Because that you would put a ball, you'd have had more money, more than anything else, if you would have had it at Southern. But regardless of that, I think Curtis is gonna win. I've seen JT Curtis. Now here's the thing about Curtis. Curtis does not have enough depth. This is one of the worst years JT Curtis has had with depth. Anytime you ain't got no kicker, you have a defensive tackle that's a kicker, percent. You know, the chances really go to Scotlandville more than anything else. Scotlandville has a greater chance to just win this game. But we've seen JT Curtis pull off wins like this before. And I mean big time wins like this before. You can see him, G?
It's echoing, like static and echoing a lot.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's going away. My thing is, I've seen JT Curtis pull stuff like this before. He's pulled kind of victories because he didn't have people hurt in the past. He didn't had some. He might not have maybe one of his best teams, but some way somehow, if the game be close, some way somehow JT Curtis pulls a rabbit out the hat, and they win that a little bit of the 2001 state championship between John Curtis and O'Perry Walker. And O'Perry Walker, who was coached under Frank Wilson, they was mostly winning that game and dominating the ball game and everything else. But Curtis had one big play. It was a swinging gate play, and I think O'Perry Walker was up in the ball game, and Curtis came back, scored a touchdown. But then all of a sudden, they pulled a swinging gate play that changed the whole ball game, and Curtis pulled off the win. So don't be surprised that John Curtis pulls a rabbit out the hat some way somehow if the game is close. Now, if Scotlandville handles their business and gets a lead from the jump, and they Curtis and they put the points on the board, they win this ball game. Hopefully we'll have G Sports. He had a little technical difficulties on his side, but he'll back up in a minute. But against John Curtis, you have to score. You have to score the ball. You have to score against them to win. You got to score to win the game. So if the game's close, Curtis will pull it out. I got some way somehow I would love Scotlandville to win, but some way somehow I think JT Curtis is gonna pull something out. He's gonna pull it out. They're gonna win the ball game, and it'll be John Curtis St. Aug for the semifinals. And like I said, I got St. Aug going to the state championship against Brother Martin. Hopefully we'll have Jeremiah back on, and he had to reset some things on here on VK Jones special edition right here on Facebook Live and also YouTube. We're about to go for the last hopefully 15 minutes. Hopefully Jeremiah gets back up again. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if he can get back up. Let's see. Trying to see if hopefully if JB can still hear me a bit. I know he's got technical difficulties, but hopefully he can just try to get Jeremiah back up on up on here. So let me go ahead and get to the breakdown of the class 1A pairings before hopefully he gets back up, and we'll talk more about the playoffs and stuff like that before we get off the air tonight. Okay. Yeah, hopefully he gets back up here. Okay. All right. Okay. We got you back up. All right. You good now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. like I said, I'm picking Curtis. It's gonna be a close ball game. That's what I'm gonna go with. Like I've seen it before with JT before with these kind of games. But the thing is, if Schuylerville scores a lot of points, scores often, and a lot on Curtis, they'll win the game. They just got to mess around in a close game. JT Curtis, I done seen it a bunch of times. He pulled things off like this. He'll pull it off again. So for Lester Ricard's sake, he's gonna have to score the ball and do what he can to put the game away, and don't give Curtis a chance. Because I've never seen a Curtis team that does not have that much depth, and it showed against Brother Martin. And I was like, man, Curtis don't have that much depth, man. I ain't never seen a Curtis team got no kicker. So that tells me something a lot. Like, wow. But I know one thing: Curtis is going to be more dangerous next year. This year, it's one of those years here. But let's go to class. But I do have St. Aug in the state championship game against Brother Martin. You know, and my pick to win. You know, my pick to win it. I think St. Aug has a great chance, but I got Brother Martin to win it this year after what he's been through. So right. I really think, brother, this probably Brother Martin year to do it. So, but look at Class 1A. Let's go through right quick. Second round action. Oak Grove, East Beauregard, West St. John against Logansport. Another battle that they go at it every year. Homer and Block, the 5 and 12. LaSalle, White Castle. Grand Lake, Del High, Centerville, Oberlin, Haynesville, Brazil. The 2 seed Isabel against Slaughter Charter. I don't know where that's at, but regardless of the fact, let's stick to the two Southeast Louisiana ties. Your thoughts? Does West St. John pull off the win against Logansport to move on to possibly face the defending state champion? Does White have a great chance at a deep run?
Honestly, man, the only team I've seen is West St. John. I know White Castle, some of them kids that was in it that made it to the state championship last year returned. So I'm sure they have a solid team. Just haven't seen them, haven't really followed them. But I've been following West St. John. Got a lot of talent. That just offensively, I just feel like they haven't been able to put up that many points and be successful on that side of the ball. Defensively, they're pretty good. So Logansport don't know too much about them. I can go off of in recent history. Always have a really good program. Always really coach, really sound in what they do. So I would not be surprised if West St. John's in a dogfight with them people in that second round. So I would love to see them have an opportunity to get in that semifinals to play against the defending state champions Oak Grove. So like I say, I know a little bit about Haynesville. They got a really, really good defense this year. If I'm not mistaken, they haven't gave up. I think the whole season they might not. I think only one team scored over 20 points on them. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on that, but I think West St. John they gonna be in for a dogfight against Logansport.
Okay, let's go to Class 2A. The Class 2A matchups. Manny, the 1 seed, the defending champs, they will host South Plaquemines, an improving team. Alumnus Lion Feet handling some business over there. Should be maybe interesting, but I don't know. South Plaquemines can pull it off. A meet is at Red River. North Caddo, General Trash. St. Helena hosting Bunkie. Going against Kendall. Faraday, Port Allen. Kentwood hosting a 2 seed Magnum. Now, here's my question to you, G Sports. Kentwood at home. They hosting a 2 seed. Does the Kangaroos pull off the upset?
I don't know too much about Magnum. Magnum, however you pronounced it.
Magnum, yeah.
Yeah, but I know Kenwood has some athletes, and they always been a program that's used to making deep runs in the playoffs and kind of getting to the dome. So, and that's I know with COVID, they might not necessarily be able to have the fans that they would like to have at home in that game, but I still think it's gonna be a real hostile environment down there in Kenwood. And if you ever been there, that's a place to play. It's not easy to go down there and win. You don't have no service on your phone. It's in the middle of nowhere. Mosquitoes is about the size of your head. It's different in Kenwood. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kenwood was able to pull off that upset. And then I ain't gonna lie, top of that bracket, man, I don't really know too much about Manning. I know they got a really good safety. There goes the Manning. Tackett Curtis. He's been getting scholarship offers from all over the country. But them as a team, I don't know too much about them. But I would love to see a meet beat. I think a meet beats Red River and gets to the quarterfinals and plays Manning. And I got a meet upset Manning and get to the semifinals. I would love to see St. Helena and a meet up in that semifinal matchup, man. That's two rival schools from the same area. So a meet playing St. Helena in semifinal, I think that would be box office to see. But and at the bottom of the bracket, Faraday, we all know that's a team that always makes deep runs. I don't really know too much about any of these other schools besides Kentwood at the bottom of that bracket. So, but ideally, I'd love to see him meet and St. Helena kind of duke it out in that semifinal matchup and make it to the state championship.
That would be a great matchup in itself. My prediction on that, I got all tangible whole final. I got Kenwood ain't meet for the title. It's got to happen. The history between them two teams, and now they're in the same class. It could have happened last year, and now it can happen. It can happen this year, and I think it's got to happen. A meet in Kentwood for all the marbles, just like St. James Lutcher a couple years ago. Got to happen. But let's take a look at Class 3A. Looking down the line with these matchups here, Jennings, Lutcher, Madison Prep, Donaldsonville, and Church Point. They chose College Prep, a very good team. They're playing against South Beauregard. Jenna against Jewel Sumner, Green Oaks, St. Martinsville, Booker T. Washington, who advanced against Medina 35 with a 20-8 win over MAC 35. I mean, great job for Wayne Reese. Now they host the 2 seed, Union Parish G Sports. Does Booker T have a chance to pull off this upset coming up against Union Parish?
Woo, I don't know, man. Union Parish running that ball. They running that ball. I don't know if Booker T has enough up front to be able to stop that running game. And once Union Parish get that running game going and get a lead, they're going to control that clock. But Booker T is definitely, they have some real talented players on both sides of the ball. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they went into that game and was able to upset them people. But it's going to be tough going on that road. Well, no, they playing at home. They playing at home because they upset it 35. So, yeah, but it's going to be tough for them to go into that game and beat Union Parish, especially if you don't have the personnel up front in them trenches to be able to stop that run game that Union Parish is going to come with. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think Wayne Reese Jr., led by that kid, Tyrese Johnson, who I think is one of the best receivers in the state, and Coriel Pierce and Arnold Barnes at running back and Damian Alexander at DB for them guys. They got athletes all over the field. But what it's gonna come down is them trenches for them against Union Parish. If they can control the line of scrimmage, they can win that game. I got my reservations about that when they play against Union Parish.
Yeah, then looking at the other matchups, Lutcher hosting the 1 seed Jennings. Back to the coming up showing against St. James. Now they go on the road at Lutcher. What does Lutcher's chances of pulling this off? Coach Dwayne Jenkins has been in this position before. Could he do it again with Lutcher pulling off the upset against Jennings?
I don't see it. I don't
You
see
don't
it.
see
I don't see it.
it.
A couple times, this shit, don't get me wrong. Next year, yeah, Lutcher gonna be a team that's gonna be somebody to watch out for, to make a trip, to have a chance, the opportunity to get to the state championship. This year, they pretty young uh, at key positions. Dewanye Winfield, who's their best player, is a sophomore, moved from receiving and running back to quarterback this year. I think he's had a great year because he's just an exceptional athlete, but he just haven't figured out how to really play that quarterback position. And once you play against teams like Jennings, who's been there before, who's experienced, they gonna figure that out on and watch him on film, be able to take away what he does well. And if you can't be a true quarterback, at some point throughout a game, I think Jennings exposes that. Unless Winfield runs wild, when he's rolling out the pocket and extending plays with his legs, I don't see Lutcher winning that game against Jennings.
Yeah, it's gonna be close early, but I think Jennings could pull away. Jennings got too much experience. Jennings is hungry right now. Jennings is real hungry. I the game of the week on that one, the game of the whole week is gonna be Madison Prep Donaldsonville. That is gonna be a great ball game. Whoever wins, I think might be one of those. It's gonna be one of two things in that game: defensive battle, or it's gonna be last team who has the ball scores wins the game. So that's how good that matchup is.
I actually think,
And then I think Saint I think St. James moves on. So I really think gonna be 3A is gonna be interesting. I got to be honest, I got Robert Valdez and St. James winning the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I know they got to get by Jennings to get there, which I think they can do it. But I think St. James is gonna pull it out. It's gonna be interesting to see. But I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get by Jennings. I think Jennings is gonna win the whole thing. They are the favorites to win 3A. They are the
right,
favorites with all the experience they have back. But I think the only team that can really stop them, in my opinion, I think it's St. James. Now, Madison Prep is another opponent, another formidable opponent that could give Jennings trouble as well. So I
yeah,
wouldn't sleep on that. But I think Donaldsonville could give them a matchup too. But that's going to be a great ball game between Donaldsonville. Now let's move on to Class
I think
4A. This
I
is a
think
class that you go ahead.
I think, Prep, I think Madison Prep moves on from Donaldsonville and meets Jennings in that quarterfinals. Don't sleep on Lake Charles College Prep though. I think they're the most talented team
Me too.
in 3. They had a lot going on with the storm and stuff like that, and it's been kind of phenomenal when you think about it, how they've been able to salvage this season with everything that went on down there in Lake Charles with that storm. So, and I said, I
Mm-hmm.
think they tip on their shoulder, and they have a really talented team. So I think Lake Charles College Prep is the most talented team in 3. Does that mean they're going to win it? I don't know, but like you said, 3 is kind of wide open. It's a bunch of teams in 3 that's left in the second round that could possibly get to the dome and win it.
I think Jared people. I can't. Jarryd got that's the second look over at Lake Charles College Prep, and he said it is. He said that they can win the whole thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they can win the whole thing because they returned a lot of folks. Man, they was young last year, and they're a great team. I wouldn't sleep on them either. I would not
Definitely.
sleep on Lake Charles College Prep either. Class 4A, one of the classes we're waiting for and that we've been waiting on. Not too strong of a 4A class, but looking at the second round, some interesting matchups. Karen Crow, the who Karen Crow will host, Huntington Clackaman, Leesville against Minden, and big time props going to Leonard's Elphage. Great year for him. In his first year, John F. Kennedy getting the Cougars back into the postseason. Big ups to him. I was hoping they would pull it off against Minden, and they didn't. Uh, Westgate going against Neville, Tioga. hosting on LB Landry. Well, we got to call it correctly. You can't say that. They pulled off the win, and I called it last week against Cecilia. They will host Warren Easton, and also Belle Chase pulling off a huge upset against Belle Chase last week. Very shocked at that score. They will host Eunice and Struma, who is back on the fold. Congratulations to them. They will go on the road not that long of a trip, about 60 minutes. They'll take on the 2C in the car. But let's talk a little bit about LB Landry. Your thoughts on Landry getting the win, and also the transition they have made, and possibly that might have saved Keenan Lewis's job over at Landry.
That's gonna be a tough game against Easton and Landry, LB Landry. Don't be surprised if LB Landry pull off the upset. Offensively, they haven't looked good all year. They haven't looked good all year. Justin Hudson, the Tennessee State commit, can make some plays with his legs, and he can throw the ball, but they just have not looked impressive at all offensively. They've been able to win games by, their defense making plays, getting turnovers, and flipping the field position with special teams. And I think they can give Easton some problems. Connolly, the sophomore quarterback for Easton, has not looked all that comfortable this year. He showed spurts where he can make plays here and there, but Monchilego is going to have to do a great job of game planning against Keenan Lewis and his defense against Landry Walker. LB Landry, because they have athletes flying all around the ball. They very sound in what they do at on the defensive side. So I think that's really a flip of the coin on Friday night between Easton and LB Landry. So it's gonna be a lot of motion, a lot of it's gonna be a big spur.
And I wonder what a game is gonna be at. That's what I'm curious about. They don't have a location, but I'm wondering what a game is gonna be, because I know Easton, I know Carr's playing in Memphis on Friday, and I know Berman has not been really available. So I'm curious what's gonna happen.
Have as many fans at Berman, so that's why Carr's been electing to play at West Jeff. If I'm Landry, if I'm LB Landry and I'm Easton, I'm playing on Thursday night. You're gonna get the people that you can get in attendance. You're gonna make some money, and you give your team opportunity to play in front the whole city, and kind of make it a primetime game. So, and they probably could play it at West Jeff if they do it on Thursday night.
So Carr, so you're saying Carr just chose not to play at Berman just to make sure everything was safe, and they played.
Well,
Yeah, that's a smart thing.
They chose not to play at Berman because you can have more fans in attendance at West Jeff versus Berman.
Right. I didn't realize that Berman Stadium is smaller. I thought the seats were kind of even. I'm kind of surprised at that, but I understand.
Right.
Kind of shocked at that. But regardless of the fact, yeah, I think Thursday night would be smart, and I think a lot of emotions will go into the game, and yeah, and I like what Landry's been doing. I know we got to talk about. I'm gonna have to bring you on another show. Hopefully, I can have Toe Davis on. I really want to go deep and talk about this thing, how this transition has been and this change. That's for another show we're gonna have to do separately. But regardless of the fact, it's good that they have done this. It's good that they've won that playoff game, and they've been really improving. They've been very, very, very improving every week and everything. But I think it'll be close. I think Easton's gonna pull it out. I think Easton's gonna pull this thing out. I think the one thing Easton's gonna have over Landry, one, experience, two, discipline. And that's going to be the most important thing. And Jarryd Phillips preaches discipline with Warren Easton. I'm not saying that. I'm not knocking that. I know Keenan Lewis doing the best he can. But I think the discipline of Easton is going to get them over in a close game against Landry. Now, now looking at it further, uh, Belichick thoughts. Wow, 35-14 over Cardinals. Really surprised and shocked. I know Belichick is not bad of a team. They're really not bad of a team. But 35 points better than I think Carver might have had some injuries or something. Or they must have had one of them weeks when they just didn't really come out with a good game. You know, Carver's been talented. I know they're young, but they still have some good talent, good coach. I don't know what happened.
I don't know if they had kids out from COVID or what the case might have been, but man, Belichick is not a bad team, man. Belichick is one of those teams that they very very disciplined. They run that not a wing T, but a type of
Yeah,
wing T type of offense, man. If you're not sound up front, and you're not disciplined up front, they gonna run that ball, and I think that's what they did against Carver, and they control that clock. Carver didn't get as many possessions as they would have wanted to, and that's what you're seeing in that game. So I think that's why Belichick was able to run away with it 35-14.
yeah. Stephen Myers getting the job done for Belichick. Good job for him, and you know, good chance. Do you think they got a chance against Eunice at home? They might have a shot. They didn't pull off some upsets over the years.
Yeah, well, I don't know too much about Eunice, so I have no idea if they have a chance or not. But they're playing at home, so we'll see. We'll see. I know one thing: Belichick's gonna always be ready to play, and they're gonna play sound football.
Very much agree. Very much agreed. And looking at it down the line. Your thoughts up ahead with 4A. Does Carr win 5 straight? And who will be Carr's opponent?
Everybody's playing for second place. I'm just gonna keep it a band with that. Nobody in 4A is on Carr's level, in my opinion. The only team that has a chance to beat Carr, in my opinion, is Warren Easton. And the only reason I say Warren Easton is because you have a lot of those coaches that are familiar with Carr, planning for the last 6-7 years, and you got former players that played over there and former coaches that coached over there. That's the only reason I give them a chance. But in the state championship, uh, I think the winner out of Westgate and Neville gets to that state championship game against Carr. I really would like to see Westgate make it to the state championship and play against Carr, because I think they have the personnel wise, they match up with Carr. They match up with Carr. I still think Carr will win the game, but they match up with Carr, and I think it'll be a great final just to see those athletes go at it. But it's gonna be hard for Westgate to go to Neville and win on the road. That's what happened to them last year. They went to Neville last year on the road, was up 10 points in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken, and have never found a way to pull it out and beat them.
Right.
But we'll see how it turns out. Mike McCarthy, the longtime head coach at Neville, is not there anymore. They have a new coach over there now, and they kind of changed it.
Whoa! I did not know that. He retired.
Yeah, he retired. He's doing something in the
Oh my goodness!
administration. I think he's the principal of the school now, or something like that. So
wow.
I haven't seen anything on Neville. I've been keeping up with him, watching him throughout the season, but I haven't seen any film or, I know about some of the players, but I haven't watched any film on them and seen, them as a team. But I know what Westgate has, and I think that's gonna be a good game. I just don't know if Westgate can go down there on the road into that environment at Neville and pull out the upset. But if they do, I think you see them in the state championship.
Right. I think it'll be. I think Karen Crow will probably be there. I don't know if they're gonna be Carr. It's just not enough. Just not enough. Yeah, I mean they got a good game plan and everything. Wouldn't be surprised Neville will be there. I wouldn't be surprised Neville will lose this week. Like I said, this is not a great year for North Louisiana. It's not a great year. So trust me, anytime, and I'll talk about 5A in a minute because, like I said, I had a guest pick and I hope that comes through. But regardless of the fact, I think it'll be Karen Crow and Carr. I think Carr and Easton will go at it. They'll go against each other in the semis. Carr will pull it out again. It'll be close again, but Carr will pull it out. Bryce Brown has just got a program that's the cream of the crop right now. And not too many times you see Orleans School having a dynasty.
Definitely.
It's amazing what the Orleans Parish a long time ago, this district in the state of Louisiana. So it's amazing stuff. Let's
Right.
go to class 5A finally before we close this thing out. No, we're running a little late, but we're gonna close this thing out strong. 5A, Acadiana, the favorite. They're hosting East Ascension. Should be interesting, maybe. Lafayette, Mandeville in the second round. Destrehan, Dutchtown, Ruston, Ponchatoula, Zachary, New Iberia, Houghton will go on the road against Alexandria. Central, Baton Rouge will take on West Monroe, and East St. John will be hosting John Jarryd. Now, I'm gonna ask you this, and I know people think I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you why. I know I'm gonna think I'm crazy. John Jarryd came from maybe one of the weakest districts in the state. I know I've been seeing it. And I'm one of the people that said crazy things happen in 2020. And I made the bold prediction this year that, certain classes be wide open. You're thinking the one team is the favorite, they gonna win it, but crazy stuff happens in class. It happens each year. I said 5A is gonna be the class that crazy stuff gonna happen. And I predicted John Jarryd doing the whole thing. I'm being bold because the fact of the matter is, it's 2020. We didn't have crazy stuff. This has got to happen. So I'm saying that because of the fact that, hey, they do come from a weak district, and it was proven last week. Now, I got this thing that Jarryd posted. This Louisiana 5A on his Twitter. This Wildcats get too cocky. They can't seem to handle fame, and they predicted East St. John. Do you think East St. John pulls off the upset? I know one thing. I can say one thing about that. I think East St. John does have a chance. Not just the fact because they're home, because they do play in a tougher district in the area.
I think that's two teams that's evenly matched. I think John Jarryd. I won't watch my choice of words when I say this, but there's no reason in the world Thibodeau High should have been in the same stratosphere as John Jarryd on Friday. Thibodeau High didn't even have their starting quarterback. Starting quarterback was out with COVID, and you only beat these people 21-14. If you don't get that Hail Mary pass before the half, I don't even know if you win that game, right? So, and Thibodeau was up 14-0 in that game. So, I just don't know if they're gonna be able to go to East St. John and win this game on Friday. Even though I think these two teams are evenly matched, I'm gonna go with East St. John. I think Brandon Brown, what he's doing with that team, third year, his coach is kind of sitting in with those guys. That was a great win on the road at Woodlawn, Baton Rouge against Marcus Randall, and who I think is one of the better quarterbacks in the state, regardless of class, and Ricky Collins. Only a sophomore. Watch out for that name. He's gonna be heavily recruited going forward. But for them to go on the road and beat them in double overtime, I thought that said a lot about his program and what he's doing over there. So I got them beating Jarryd on Friday.
Brandon Brown doing some great things at East St. John. He's done a great job. It's gonna be real close. But this is a turning point game for Jarryd. Jarryd has got to play like they are. If they pull this win off, sky's the limit for Jarryd. Because they went on a road in a hostile environment. Now, if Jarryd win this game, that's gonna change a lot of people's minds. It's gonna change a lot of people's minds. So they're gonna be like, okay, they got by Tip, but it should have been close, or they barely got by Tip because they struggled They're in a bad district. Now they won at East St. John. It's like, okay, we need to rethink about this because they might not be as bad as we think they are. So I'm thinking if they get by East St. John, that's gonna go a long way for John Everett. And then looking at you covered Destrehan. Your thoughts? Could they get the win against Dutchtown? They went against each other a couple of times. It's always usually a good battle against with those two.
I like Destrehan. I like what Marcus Scott is doing over there. You know, but I think Dutchtown's a better team. I think that they're gonna force Ja Eugene, the sophomore quarterback, to have to throw the ball from the pocket. Uh, he's had some success this year doing it, but he's also had a lot of struggles. And we know Ja Eugene, one of the best athletes in that 2023 class. He's gonna be a defensive back when it's all said and done. When it's time for him to go to college, but I just think Dutchtown is gonna be too big, too physical for him up front as well. And then they got their running back Dylan Sampson, who's been one of the best running backs in the state. He rushed for over 200 yards last week against Terrebonne. This kid, you can't arm tackle him. He runs a 10-6 and 100. So, I got Dutchtown beating Destrehan. I don't think it's gonna. I really think it's gonna be a close one. But I got Dutchtown moving on from Destrehan.
Okay, Ponchatoula, Ruston, very interesting matchup. To me, probably the best team in North Louisiana, in my opinion. Ruston has had a great year, breakout year. Could they win on the road at Ponchatoula? That could happen. And I think they could win it. I think they might win it, and I think they will win it because they have won on the road before. I think they have won maybe their last 4 or 5 road playoff games. So Ruston is hungry, and this is their breakout year in North Louisiana. They have been on the cusp for a long time, and they've been that bottom feeder in North Louisiana. But they was good back in the '90s, late '80s to the '90s, but now they're trying to get back to it. So I think Ruston will pull out the upset against Ponchatoula. Ponchatoula is really good. I know Ponchatoula can get to the quarters, but don't be surprised. Ruston is going to play with no fear. They're going to play with no. And my guarantee prediction, my upset, like Jarryd has. They said, and he told me that West Monroe has an easy road, an easy pad to the semis. I said, I don't think so. West Monroe is not good. These folks got shut out at home. When the last time you ever seen West Monroe get shut out at home? One of the toughest stadiums in the state of Louisiana.
They had 13 kids that was out with COVID when they lost.
Oh Lord, here we go with the COVID thing. I knew
kids.
it.
And nine of them starters. 9 of them were starters. So
wow.
you gotta account for that, man. 9 of your starters out. And look, so you lose 9 of your starters, you play Carricker, who was number 1 and 4, and you only lose 13-0. Just saying.
I didn't know that. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Now that's I knew West Monroe was not that good, but man, wow, that's major. That's real major. But no, I said that I don't know if they're as good as anybody else, but Sid Elwood's got something waiting for West Monroe coming up, and I guarantee that. And I said it's still a guarantee. BK Jones guarantee Central over West Monroe. I said it myself going to the second round. Sid Elwood still got something left. He's up there in age now, but he still got something left. He done pulled off upsets. He's gonna do it again with Central, and he's gonna take. They're the favorites. They 7/10, but it's gonna be close because West Monroe they always are gonna be there. But I think Central's gonna knock them off. That's gonna be it for West Monroe. This is it for the train. Like I said, I know it's been crazy because of COVID. That's one thing, but you know,
we shall see.
You might be right about the 9 players being out, but man, the Karen Pro 16 that told me a lot. That is like, and then you see General Trash knocking off Evangel, which Evangel went through a lot of transition this year. which I understand. But I was like, wow, North Louisiana, this and Neville had struggled too early. So I'm thinking, this is not one of them years. This is not one of them years. This is a rarity when you see North Louisiana teams not strong. So this is one of them years to be like, take advantage.
Right.
Take advantage now until they reload. Take advantage now. So I'm thinking this is the time. But at the same time, like I said, I got John Jarryd winning the whole thing. And they told me, you even got him by Zachary? Yes. I'm going to say it once and say it again. Zachary is strong, but they didn't return a lot of people from last year. Remember that. Experience tells a lot. And plus, the first game of the year. And Zachary barely won that game. So that's a big factor. And trust me, Eric has been down that road and he took on Zachary before. And this could be redemption time for Eric down the line. This could be redemption time. Not knocking Zachary. But like I said, crazy things will happen. They get by East St. John Friday night. People gonna start thinking, wait a minute now. We got to rethink about what we talked about with Eric, man. We kind of underestimated what they can do.
Right.
You know, like I said, the one thing I do agree with, they don't come from the best district. Now, what they did and what they improved on that I would like to see, score the ball offensively and be more consistent with it. Now, this is the most points they ever scored in their district in a long time, scoring over 48 a game, especially after they beat West Jeff in a close game. Good. It's real good. And you need that offense to get it going. So that's what I'm thinking. I might be wrong. Might be wrong with two left shoes. I know the area people love me right now because I'm from Marrero, but I'm not saying that because I've come from Marrero. I'm just going with something crazy because this 2020 has just been shocking to everybody, from COVID to all this other stuff going on. President, you name it, 2020 has not been one of your years. So why not? If the Lakers and Dodgers win championships out of LA in the back, man, I'm like this. By hook or crook, the Saints could get to the Super Bowl. By hook or crook, John Eric could win the state championship. Just saying. Things are kind of working towards the Saints' way right now, but we'll see about John Eric. It's early right now.
We shall see.
They barely got by, but it's early. The only thing that's scared that they're going against. But Jeremiah G Sports, man, thank you so much for joining us tonight, man. I definitely appreciate it. Jarryd JB Boy, we'll have him on next week, man. But I want to bring you back soon because we definitely want to talk a little bit more about this Landry thing. You know what I'm saying? Just get a little perspective on that. I'm gonna try and get Toe Davis on the show. We'll all just talk about it, kind of chop it up a bit because that has been. I don't think not too many media has talked about this story. I think some people talked about the name change, but they haven't went deeper into the whole thing of how this is going down, how did it went down, and all this other stuff, how it affected the Algiers community and stuff like that. So that's something we need to talk about down tonight. But I definitely want to have you back. And you won't have me on sports or whatever. You just know I gotta wait in line because your line of people, man. You getting big time up here, man. You getting a lot more big time than me. I gotta wait in line.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Just let me know, man. I'm always willing to get on, man, and talk sports, and especially high school football, and kind of just go into dialogue about our sports careers and what we've been doing in the media.
And you got and tell the people where to reach at social media and everything, and also tell us about your new position. You're working with, I think, the flag football team with talent or something like that right now.
Yeah, so I just got we just got with Under Armour. Louisiana Elite is a shoe sponsor team in Louisiana. They made me the program director for the 7-on-7 organization. Really excited about that. If anybody that follows 7-on-7, you know, that's the new AAU of football now. So I'm excited about building that the football side of it. The basketball side has always been great. You know, they've had kids in the past, Jalen Cook, who's playing at LSU, Jarryd Martin, who's playing in the NBA with the Grizzlies, Josh LeBlanc, who's playing at LSU, Josh Anderson, who's playing at West Kentucky. Like, you know, they've had a number of kids come out that program that have signed D1 and went on to play the NBA. So now we're about to bring that same type of success to the football side, and you know, and I'm leading that ship over there with the football side of it. So I'm excited, man. For our first event, it's going to be in Miami, January 22nd through the 24th.
Wow.
You know, we got a tryout January 9th to be on the team, so be on the lookout for that. And we're going to announce social media of everybody that makes the squad. I think everybody's going to be pretty pleased at the product we're going to put on the field, man. You know, I know the bootleggers have been the cream of the crop, and EPS Blaze and Coastal Coastline in Louisiana over the last 3-4 years, but Louisiana at least about to definitely make a mark on the state and kind of put everybody on notice.
Okay, that's really good. That's really, really good. And man, congratulations on the position and everything. And tell people where to find you on YouTube and whatever to see your stuff and whatever else.
On YouTube, just type in G Sports. It'll pop right up. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and share it to a friend, and make that friend share it to another friend. On Twitter, G_G Sports, and on Instagram _G Sports.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jeremiah G Sports, great. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll definitely have you on the show for. Thank you so much for having things set up for us tonight. We'll have you on next week, man. And man, if you join us on the VK Jones special edition, we'll be back next Sunday at the same time. Hopefully, we'll be on time this time. But a lot of things happen, be crazy, but it's all to the good, man. But go to Jesus Sports page, man. Straight up, he'll have guaranteed 2 to 3 games a week on the highlight reel. You know what I'm saying? So he got some good ones. So check it out, man. But thank you so much, G Sports, and thank y'all for joining us, everybody. We'll see y'all next week. God bless y'all. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. Cover yourself. 6 feet. All that good stuff. And we'll see y'all next week, man. Peace out.
Appreciate it.
You too, man. You have a good one.